Hi and welcome to Oddities round 1 of the 2025 season. This is the official opening of the AFL season. Anyway, this first clip here from the Hawks was really awesome. It took 2 kicks to get it from the back line into the forward. One thing I do want to highlight is the block here. So Hawthorn obviously have been practicing this. It's very reminiscent of a basketball play where the the offense team sort of set a screen so then the player can run around and get the ball. You see someone like Steph Curry do it all the time, but here you can see that the screen is laid, and then so Impey's able to get the ball and run out to the open side. So they clearly plan this where they push everyone over to one side, which creates that space for Impey to run on, tap the ball and kick it inside the forward 50. So well done to the Hawks, and I doubt this will be the last time we see that play this year. It's probably going to happen again. I mean, if it ends up being a goal, why not? Keep doing it. Talking about coach killers this year so far, this is probably twice that I saw Iden do this, where the ball is up for dispute and he just punches the ball to basically no one's advantage. And somehow Brent Daniels has got the ball here and kicked goal for Melbourne. Can anyone tell me how that works? Christian Petrarca and Brent Daniels do not look the same, guys. What an ending to the Melbourne and GWS game it was. It was just crazy. I don't think this was probably the best game. It definitely deserved a Sunday slot, but the game itself was pretty crazy. There's vision of Callaghan actually coming off and saying to the coach, like, what are you doing? Just put me back on. And he comes back on and has a crucial part in this final play where Keith kicks the winning goal for GWS. And yeah, this was one of those ones that you can only dream of, to kick the ball, not after the siren, but, you know, kick the winning goal essentially. The young debutants really put on a show this week to prove that they belong in the AFL, and Murphy Reid kicked his first goal here by tricking Brian Myers, but he was not done. He actually goes on to kick 4 goals in about 4 or 5 minutes. I've seen some people say 7 or 10 minutes, whatever it might be, but either way, he's kicked 4 goals in a row for the Dockers, and very well done to him for your first game. How's that?
The goal kicking mid at junior level. The kid they affectionately call Bruce. He get it out wide. Chapman, the sub, the defender wasn't quite sure what to do. Reedy around the body. Here's Reid again for 3 in 3 minutes. The youngster is keeping the Dockers alive. Where's Murphy Reid? Instead, that's the kick you're talking about, Tom. It was deep. No, Reid again. He could have got him. Oh, the kid is putting on one of the...
Ben King took a hanger on a 200 centimetre player, so that's almost 4 metres tall. I mean, he's arching over, so it'd be about 3 metres tall, but still, that's pretty impressive. I'm not entirely sure if his boot was causing him some issues or what was actually going on, but you can see Nankervis's boot is on his left foot, and as he walks back, you can see he puts his right foot down and actually takes his boot off, and then says to the umpire, like, no, my boot's come off, I need to put it back on so I can kick. He's done it himself, and the umpire's right there, so I'm not sure how he's got away with that. Surely you just say, nah, come on mate, you got to keep going. This might be the first double oddity of the season as the ball bounces between Blakey's legs, which was quite funny. But then the ball goes over to Ashcroft, who takes control of the ball, and mid-tackle from Wicks, he just completely drops it, but the umpire doesn't call holding the ball. So not entirely sure why. There was a couple here where I just thought the umpires have just completely fallen asleep and just didn't call anything. When the game was all but done, Martin has a chance to try and make the score look a little bit more respectable and boost his scores, but as he goes to kick the ball, he just completely trips over in the last 40 seconds. It was a dewy game, but I just thought this was a little bit funny. I know that Powell Pepper likes to go out and show his dominance, his physicality of the game, but he has to be so careful with things like this. If he goes an inch or two high and hits him in the head, he's got to be missing for 5 or 6 weeks. Just a little bit unnecessary, I think. The game was already lost at this point, but you would hope that your more experienced players, your more experienced defenders, wouldn't sell your teammates into trouble like this. As you can see, McGovern just handballs the ball straight into someone's chest way too hard, so he's not able to take the ball. It bounces off, and then the Gold Coast Suns are able to kick a goal off of this. You just have to do better than this. Either pass it away or kick it away, whatever, but you're just selling your teammate into trouble here, and it makes him look bad, but as you, the experienced player, I think it makes you look a lot worse. That's just my opinion, guys. I think this clip here just sums up the physicality of the game and two players who are just willing to put their bodies on the line just to win the ball. You can see that there's luckily no injuries from this, but both guys had only eyes for the ball, and these sort of big collisions here is what sets our game apart from any other game in the world. You just love to see these two competitors just going for the ball. It's a big hit, but man, you just gotta love this. Defense of Freo was pretty average in my opinion, and you can see this is just probably a coach killer in my opinion, where the ball just gets over the back and Ollie Dempsey's able to kick the goal when, yeah, the defenders just don't kill this ball and just let it get through for a relatively easy goal. If you have a look at the start of the clip here, when it gets over the top, you can see that there is a Gold Coast Sun in the forward 50, almost at the goal square. So if this ball goes over the top, this is pretty much a certain goal for the Gold Coast Suns. But you can see here that Hugh actually stops the ball and smothers it. So well done to him. A shout out for West Coast, which probably didn't happen too much on the day, but well done to him in this specific play for stopping an almost certain goal. Not entirely sure how Ben Keys didn't give away a free here for front on contact. You can see that he's not facing the ball and he makes contact with Hill, and then after that also drags him down, but somehow still doesn't give away the free. I mean, I don't know what the umpire's looking at, but for me this is clearly a free. This is the other play that I was talking about with Connor Iden, where the ball's in dispute. It's sort of, he taps it once and then goes twice. I'm assuming he's tapping it back to a teammate, but if you've played any sport, you don't tap it into your, I guess, your defensive goal square, surely. Like, tap this towards the boundary line. Even if there's someone there, just keep it away from there. For some reason, he taps it back there, and it ends up being an easy goal for Melbourne in such a critical point in the game. Just really weird defending for me. Another debutant this year who has gone through and kicked a goal, the first goal for Essendon and the first goal of the game. But I feel like this is deserved a little bit of a special mention, because as you can see, he knows that contact is coming, and a first gamer knowing a much bigger defender is coming at you, he definitely could have shied away from that or shanked the kick because he knew the contact was coming, but he still went through and kicked the goal, took the contact. But yeah, very well done to him. Deliberate rushed behinds like this, I actually don't mind being paid, because he does have other options. I think sometimes it can be a little bit of confusion around this whole rule, but you can see here that it's pretty clear that he gets the ball, McGrath, and he has a chance to handball it to a teammate or do something with it. He does slip over and then tries to do the safe thing and go back and put it through for a behind, but you can't do that when you have other options or you've had prior opportunity. So this one, like this, I really do like it, like the call, so well done. For me, it's the correct call. The commentators did make a point of this a couple times during the call, that the players are now starting to get the idea that the tap on is working. You can see here, if the West Coast player actually takes the ball, he's most likely to get tackled and then cause a stoppage. Instead, he taps it on and then they're able to continue to play. It's a very smart play here by the West Coast Eagles, and would love to see more continuous play like this from them. This was probably pretty ominous of what was to come for the St Kilda defenders. As you can see here, that Rochelle just wanted the ball more. He gets past his defender and soccers it towards the goal square, and the Crows are able to kick a goal here. Surely, if the Swans defender knew that there was another player there, he might have put in a bit more effort. But unfortunately, you only get one chance at this, so make sure you do it right. After Peatling gets a free kick for a high tackle, you can hear the umpires blow their whistle and pay a free kick, but the ball keeps away from the Crows and they keep tumbling it forward. They don't take possession of the ball till a few seconds later, and then the umpire says advantage. I'm not entirely sure that is advantage. I know they probably have a directive to continue the play and keep things moving, but for me it just feels like that was not an advantage, and it was too discontinued from the original play that it wasn't really a continuous play and wasn't really, I guess, advantage, at least for me. Ones like this, you see him get called back all the time, so I think that should get called back, and yeah, I just think this is a bit of a blunder by the umpires. Felt like this play here was one of the reasons why Richmond were able to come in and win the game. You can see that Carlton were just extremely poor with their handballs. They felt the pressure from the Tigers, especially from the young players. You see players like Doherty mess it up, where he just handballs it to basically no one. He handballs it back and gives the Tigers the opportunity to kick a goal. It was very unusual for such experienced players to play so badly, to be honest, against a team of Richmond who most thought they were not going to win that many games this year, and they won their very first one. So well done to Tigers. I didn't tip you, to be honest. I will be totally transparent about that. There's no way I thought you guys were going to win, but well done. So this may be a rougher year for Carlton than a lot of people expected, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. At this point in the game, it's not completely done. The Cats don't have it in the bag. Freo did kick 4 goals, especially from the youngster, so they could have made a comeback from here. And Bailey Smith did play really, really well for his first time for the Cats. But I just feel like this ball has to go into another player, probably Neil there. I just don't understand why you're taking that shot at goal when there is the team option. There were a few times where I thought Geelong were quite selfish. Individual players were trying to kick their own goals when there was a much easier option of passing it over. They got the win in the end, so that's all that matters, but those little things can creep in over time and cause your team the win. In the end, it doesn't matter, but it's just something to look out for that Bailey Smith, you need to pass this one. Big problems at Freo, especially with their goal kicking. Josh Tracy here, who's possibly one of their better kicks. You can just see that he completely shanks this. It's an absolute floater and hits the point post, so it's out of bounds on the full. Just not a very good showing from Freo. Geelong were very dominant on the day, but yeah, they not looking good so far. I know it's only game 1, so we got plenty of time, but sorry, bubs. Now, this is the last clip, and thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of the video. I do appreciate your support. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so if you did make it this far, surely if you are unsubscribed, you can change that right now by clicking the button. Leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps the algorithm push this video out. So if you'd like to support the channel, that is one way you can do it. So with this last one, what is your opinion? Leave a comment below. Was this play on, like the umpire called, or should have this been a 50-metre penalty? Did Sicily go step over the mark and I guess cause that play where he steals the ball? Is that illegal still? Is he allowed to do that? Should that be 50 or is it play on? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.